Focus Warrior Podcast. John and Aaron, Aaron and John. What's up, bro?
What's going on, stud, man? I
Dude,
knew I
I
got the
think I
face for
said this.
radio.
I think I said this last week, bro, but it's fucking storming again out here
Oh,
this weekend.
serious?
Fucking,
You guys have
dude, it's
actually had some
fucking
freaking,
dark, bro.
and you've had some tornadoes. I've noticed, I've had a look and seen that you guys had some serious tornadoes, in the last week, eh?
Dude, there was one literally, not kidding you, Aaron, probably less than a mile from us.
Jeez.
We live in that part of town where it's pretty this is where they are. They're on this side. The southeast is where we live, and eastern plains don't have a lot going on, but when the parts that are there, dude, it's definitely like I say, man, it's I'm hoping this is just fucking really dark clouds because that's pretty ugly out there
Yeah.
right now, bro. I'm not gonna
Let's
lie.
let's see where this podcast goes.
Not
That's
gonna
actually pretty
lie.
cool. Like, okay, so for those of people that have no clue about America, you kind of like that tornado alley, what they call it. Where's that for you?
Tornado Alley is more like Oklahoma. It's all like kind of the Midwestern
Right.
areas and whatnot. So Tornado Alley doesn't really mess with us. Now, like I said, we can get them for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's the nature, bro. That's what we deal with. And our summers deal with this kind of weather a lot.
Wow. Okay. So yeah, you've got notice you're looking out the window a lot. So you're like, okay, well, let's just see where this. We might have to
Dude,
end the podcast early. Holy shit.
if I just shut off, bro, you know what that
We know what's going on.
means.
Holy
And the
fuck.
thing
Okay.
is that, and just so you guys know, so upstairs, we blast the TV super loud because one of our dogs freaks out with the thunder, and so I'll be able to hear if there's a warning that comes on the TV. If there's a warning, dude, I'm gonna be like, Aaron, gotta go, gotta hit the crawl
Holy
space, brother.
shit. Yeah, in the ba okay, so the full basement thing like you do, that's where you wow, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
see
it's wild, man.
we don't have that shit here. I mean, the worst that we will get, like, it would have been a couple of years ago. Yeah, we had that little tornado come through the Gold Coast, which, fuck, the last time that happened was 50 years ago. What we do get is a lot of flooding in Australia, and we've got a lot of flooding at the moment. I was actually speaking to a couple of days ago. They actually had to leave their property because they could not get into their property. So, like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to go to, Noosa, which is from me, it's about 3 hours north. So they went, well, we're going to go to Noosa for the weekend, which is all sunshine and beach and like amazing. But yeah, whereas their property, they can't get in or out. It's flooded. So I'm like, one extreme to the other here in Australia. And I want people to do a little bit of research. I want you to jump into whether it be Google Maps or whatever, have a look at Artesian Basin. Artesian Basin is pretty much like an underwater river. It's a little bit like it's not swamp, but it's like an underground lake under the ground. So you check that out. You have a look at how big it is. Covers fucking near half a country. And a lot of little towns and a little country towns have been flooded because the Artesian Basin has flooded.
Mm.
It's been an immense amount of water, and we are talking about getting into the start of winter here in Australia. So it's been insane. We go from one extreme to the other. See the droughts in like the middle of Australia to fucking floods, and that's what we're experiencing at the moment. There are parts of Australia that are droughts. And look, it's a big amount of land, but there's only 25, 26 million people that live here. There's a huge amount of land. But yeah,
Yeah.
droughts you could drive, say, for example, if you're in Brisbane, which is a major city here in Queensland, and that's only about an hour north for me. So you will drive maybe 3 to 4 hours west from Brisbane and it's drought. You drive 2 hours north from where I am and it's flooded. It's like unbelievable, eh? But anyway, we won't
I don't
get
know how
talking.
we always start our each podcast with a weather report, bro, but I'm sure people are like, I don't
It
give a
has
fuck,
been,
you two blokes. Get busy.
it has been, hasn't it? It's like, yeah, but I also want people to realize that when you have a look, and we talk about it a lot, you have a look, we can talk about the weather, but it does not dictate what we do every day. It doesn't dictate where our mindset is. It doesn't dictate, what we can and cannot do. It's like the weather's the weather. Fucking deal with it. let's go on. Hence, with I think where this cool conversation is going to go. We were talking offline a little bit about what your journey's been like in the last 3 years, and I think also when you have a look at how we move through life and what dictates us, a lot of it will come through, and especially for me, a lot of it will come through my worthiness. I always think that I'm not worthy of anything. I always doubt myself a lot, hence why I've never jumped into doing things. But when you start saying yes more often, pretty fucking incredible what comes your way when you start saying yes more often. So this week for me has been pretty amazing, which is again just stepped into a whole new fuck. If you don't get this shit done now, bro, you're never going to have time to do it. And I think I went to an event on Thursday, and the very first thing they opened with is that the facilitator, Mark Robinson, been in wealth building for 30 years. He actually opened with, and he goes, "We need to have this conversation." And the conversation was, you need to have a conversation about yourself that what if you weren't here tomorrow? And if you weren't here tomorrow and you had your family left behind and you had your kids, we actually went into a visualization meditation and he turned around and said, what is the mood in that room when you've left with chaos? You haven't had your affairs in order. What would happen? And we visualized that and fuck the whole room like teared up. Because here we are in our 50s. Have I had a conversation with my son about, you know, will, funeral, what he gets, what he doesn't get? If I left tomorrow, would everything still be okay? Would everything be taken care of? Or would people like, what the fuck do we do? And that was a conversation that we opened this event with. And I'm like, get the fuck out. So I'm like, you're right. I haven't got a will. If I died tomorrow, my son he wouldn't know what to do. Everyone around me wouldn't know what to do. I also have my friends, and my friends will be like, they'll be sad that I've gone, but also in the equation there. And look, a lot of you know that I've got an estranged relationship with my brother and my sister. I haven't spoken to them, ever since my mum passed away, nearly 5 years ago. If I die tomorrow, then they need to be brought into the equation and into the conversation. And I'm like, get the fuck out. So for me to have to deal with, yeah, everything's going to be left with my son. Awesome. He's going to be taking care of the estates and, all the money I have, the wealth building through, cryptocurrency that I have and the money that I'm making there. He will need to take over that. But at the same time, my brother and my sister are a part of the conversation. They're a part of the equation. And I'm like, that was a real harsh reality, having to visualize that. And then we reframed it. And the reframe was that we went through a task and a like a workshop, and we went through the questions. All right, what's the conversation you need to have? Like, who's got all your passwords to all the things you need to do, all your subscriptions, like money going out, what actually needs to happen? So we went through that task and that workshop, and then we did another visualization when we set everything up. And when we set everything up, how did it look then? How did the funeral look? Like, who's going to be your executor of the will? All of these things, that's the furthest thing from our mind, the furthest thing from anyone's mind, because we're just so ingrained in just getting by. And I'm looking at it and going, dude, it was a massive reality slap in my face and going, mate, because we've talked about it before. Tomorrow is never guaranteed. And that was for me going, fuck.
Dude, I want to, man, so much in there, Aaron. I'm gonna start with this, bro. Oh man, it's crazy because I start thinking about what you just said, man. How many people actually have wills, right? And why I say that, bro, is there's a point in most of our lives where we walk around like zombies.
Hmm.
Go to work, come home, eat dinner, go to bed, repeat. Go to work, go
Absolutely.
home, repeat. As soon as, dude, and I like to kind of use the analogy of just snapping your fingers in somebody's face, like, hey, wake up, wake up. Have you ever thought about having a will? So the fact that he opened with that, dude,
Yep.
game changing, because everybody's there all gung ho. I'm ready to learn about money and I'm ready to learn about these things, right?
Yep.
Do you have a will? Before we even get started on how you're going to make money, do you have a will? And everybody starts to shrink back in their seat, right?
Fuck
And
yeah.
that's what ended up, dude. because everybody's like, oh fuck no,
No, all it was like
because you never thought about it.
no, a wide open moment. Their eyes just all of a sudden open, went, holy fuck, I never thought of it. And what the first thing that came to me was when my dad, he might have been 60, 65. I can't quite remember the age, but he turned around to me and he goes, I need to have a conversation with you about the will. I went, don't fucking even talk to me. I just, yeah, I said, don't fucking talk to me about it. And
So that
when
yeah,
you opened with that, and that was the first image that came to my mind, I'm like, fuck. Here is my dad having the hardest conversation, preparing for death, having that hardest conversation, and here I am shutting him down. I'm like, you fucking asshole.
yeah, dude, and imagine how many people do that, Aaron. It's not just you, bro.
Yeah,
But imagine how many people are like, "No, you're never gonna die.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fine. Stop talking to me about that stuff. I don't even want to picture that day, so just don't even say nothing about it." And
Right.
you're like, "Wait, that's such a an 8-year-old tantrum
Yeah,
that you're
yeah.
throwing right now." And dude, it's not a comfortable conversation. We know that, bro. But man, and this is not just about that. It's about the fact that we talk about this, bro. And I love that we're having this conversation because we never had it on this podcast before.
No.
When you're having those conversations with people, are they really awake or are they still in their zombie mode, bro? Because to your point, man, I don't think, Aaron, that I received what you just said like I normally, well, not even like how I normally how I would receive it versus how I receive it today. Because it's that awakening, dude, and hence the reason why your program is Awakened Warrior. You got to be awake for this stuff, man,
Yeah.
and you've got to receive it awake. So, dude, I don't think ever once, Aaron, and I'll be straight up, ever one time that you said or I said on this podcast, tomorrow's not guaranteed. Tomorrow's not promised. The first thing that popped in that didn't pop into my head was, do I have a will? Never popped into my head, Aaron.
Yeah.
It's so crazy to think that we say these things, but then does it match what you're doing? And dude, that just got me, Aaron, where I went, you know what?
Got
I
you
gotta
thinking,
have
huh?
tough conversations that need to
Very.
be had, man. We gotta be set up. And dude, it's not easy to do this stuff, Aaron, because like you say, man, you literally have to go. If you think about it, you've got to go through everything.
Yep.
Where does the house go? Where does the car go? If my animals, where do they all disperse off to? Oh, by the way, let's get a little bit more deeper in here. What's in this closet? What do you want to do with the dude?
100%.
Because guess what, Aaron? What happens if you don't have that? The government goes, "Thank you. We'll take all of this from here."
That's right. You've got that fucking death tax or something in America, and they're trying to bring it in here. Not only that, they're also bringing in another tax, which is like what do they call it? It's an unrealized tax. In other words, they're going to tax you on money that you haven't made yet. They're going to assume you're going to make this much money over 12 months, and they're wanting to tax you on that. So it's like, yeah, and this is
Being awake.
oh
It's being
fuck,
awake, dude.
bro. And all of a sudden, people are getting stung because we had this conversation offline about a a way to operate our life like a lot of corporate businesses do that don't pay any tax. But we're not going to go into that because I don't want to get shut down and I don't want the ATO to be fucking chasing me because I've heard stories. So, but the reality of it is, and I think I also want to touch a little bit on this. I really didn't want to go here, but I think it's going to be really, really fucking powerful. We're talking about, all right, well, fuck, I don't have a will, and tomorrow is never guaranteed. And if I don't wake up tomorrow, is everything going to be in its place? That in your case, Mandy knows exactly what needs to be done. Everything's taken care of, and she's been looked after. So I want to go back to Jaden. When he passed again, completely. How the fuck he's not here tomorrow? When you realised of how you had to handle his affairs because he had stuff. He would have had memberships. He would have had, whether it be loans or whatever. Fuck the stupidest thing, but I'd say the simplest thing, something as simple as a fucking Facebook account. You know, talk me through that.
I will give you one scenario, bro, that just absolutely has changed my level of trust in these things forever. And that is how because dude, I will tell you, I am this dad where my previous company that I worked for, I had all the benefits, Aaron. I mean, I sat down with the HR benefits lady and I said, okay, I want it all. You can give me the benefits to everything, but I want health, medical, dental, vision, the whole nine, right? I want all that. And then you have something that if one of us gets cancer, okay, sign us all up for that. Somebody loses a limb, I want something for that. Somebody, dude, they had everything, Aaron.
Mm.
And one of the things is they had life insurance on all my family. So I was like, all right, yep, I want this much for my wife, I want this much for my kids. Give me the max on the kids for no other reason, Aaron, than to just be right with it. I wanted to know that whatever I could control, which was having the most coverage I could possibly have. It was expensive, Aaron, but
Yep.
in my mind, it was perfect. I needed it, right? So the one thing, dude, that I picked in there was life insurance. Now, this life insurance, I read through it. I read that, they cover you. You're good, right? Everything's fine. In the case of an accident or anything like that,
Mm.
that happens to your child, which you don't want to think about, right? Especially at
Mm.
that time. That
Mm.
was 2019, I believe, is when I elected all that stuff. So, obviously it wasn't right away or anything. Dude, Aaron, fine, right? I'm covered. I am covered. Covered. That fine print, dude. Fine fucking print of this company said, and again, I won't give the specifics here on all of this. I'm going to keep some of this private. I'll tell you offline, but um, there was specifics to how your family would pass, right, in their fine print. And if there was
Gosh.
certain stipulations in there of what they did or how they did it or what happened, they were ineligible for payment. Lost me, Aaron. Lost me, dude. I mean, I remember losing my shit on and it wasn't this lady, this rep that I was working with. She was so just, yeah, well, this is the rule. The rule is the rule, and
Not a
this
care in
is
the
what it
world.
is. And I'm like, you've got to be
Fuck.
fucking kidding me, late. So you mean to tell me that not only have I lost my child, but you're telling me that the coverage that I fucking paid for every month, every 2 weeks out of my check, you guys just keep that? That's what you're telling me? Okay. All right. So now, bro, I mean, I still have coverage on my
Mm.
family, but I made sure when I sat down with this in particular insurance company, I said, look, does this, and this count toward like do you disregard this or do you actually still pay it? I said, no, we still pay it. Everything is
Yeah,
covered.
I want that in writing. It just shows how
I
fucking
want,
rigged the
and dude,
system is,
oh, believe
dog.
me, I got that in writing. You better
Fuck.
believe it. But the thing is, bro, and that's what I'm trying to tell you, Aaron, is that if you're not awake to this stuff, man,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you think you're covered, and that's why I say, bro, we can talk a certain way, Aaron. You and I can say things like, yeah, you know what? Our mindset is right. We're doing good things. And then you take a step back and you have that tough conversation. Like, are you?
Mm.
Are you really doing what you say you're doing? Or are you, and I'm not saying, bro, that we're not, right? It's not what I'm saying, but you end up waking up even more to certain things, bro. And I'm telling you, it's the hardest things. It's the stuff that you push aside, such as a will. That's the best example, Aaron. Are you prepared that if you were to leave this world tomorrow, is your family in good hands and would they
Yep.
know exactly what to do? Or are they going to be shocked and like, I don't even know what his phone passcode is, right? You know what I mean? Like, dude, just
Yes.
simplest stuff that we don't think about, Aaron. You know what I mean? And it was
100%.
zombies, bro. Zombies.
I totally hear you, man. And that's the shit that when you do go, your family are going to have to fucking deal with. And yeah, for me, that was a massive awakening. And I think for both of us, it's that, yeah, we want to be able to make money. We want to be able to live the now. We want to make sure that we get everything we can out of life right here, right now. But tomorrow's never guaranteed. Do you have everything in place? And for me, I look at it and go, all right, well, if I'm putting all these things in place, will they continue when I'm gone? Or is
Yeah, well,
that
I
fucking
mean,
it?
dude, let me ask you this. Have you had that conversation with your son?
I actually spoke to him on the Thursday night or the Friday after the event, because the event was Thursday, Australian time.
How did he receive it well, or was he kind of
He
like
was
weirded out?
weirded out. Absolutely weirded out. I said, mate, we're going to have a conversation. And he goes, yeah, cool. What do you want to talk about? I said, I need to talk about my will. And he goes, oh, okay. I said, dude, it's a conversation that needs to be had. But you know what? I actually really liked that he just turned around and went, no, get fucked. Because, as a son, as a son, I turned around and our parents are invincible. Doesn't matter what age you are. You think that your parents are going to live forever. But little do my dad passed away like 10 years ago, and my mum passed away now 5 years ago. And I'm like, holy shit. And then I have a look, and, I'm 55 years old, and I'm like, potentially all going really, really well. And I'll live a, happy, fulfilled life. I've probably only got 20 years left on this earth. But always go back to tomorrow could be your last day. You could be just driving. You could be fucking in a T-bone car accident. You just never fucking know. So I'm like, holy shit, I've actually got to have that conversation. And I'll look at it and go, mate, well, you can, but I don't have property. I don't have assets. I don't have all this shit. Yeah, but you got liabilities. You got assets. You do have shit that needs to be dealt with. As simple as what's the passcode for your fucking phone. As simple as what are you going to do with your Facebook account when you're no longer here? My dad's Facebook account is still up. I can still have a look at it. Memories still come up that my dad's Facebook account is still here. No one has access to it. Don't know his passcode. Nothing. Emails. What's your email account?
And dude, I'm not shaking my
Fucked.
head, by any means in a bad way, Aaron, but dude, I'm sitting
I know.
here on this podcast right now, and all this stuff is going through my mind as we're talking about it. I
Yeah,
hope
bro.
this is triggering other people in a good way, bro, because I think you and I have sat on this podcast for so long, and we've said things, and
Yeah.
dude, you don't realize when you peel back the onion a little bit more, and dude, just think about your son's reaction. Right? My wife and I, we've got to have that chat with our daughter.
Yeah. You got to
And
have that
I
chat
can
with
tell
each
you,
other.
yeah, exactly. Her and I have to sit down.
Yeah.
And the good thing is we've actually had, and I don't want to say it's been intentional, but it's been casual conversation about what would we do if, but we don't
Yeah.
ever
Yeah.
have any, we don't have it.
It's
Well, it's right here. It's right here. It's not on paper. It's not
yeah.
official.
Yeah.
It's not a legal document, right? So her and I have to establish that. And then we have to
Yes.
go sit with our daughter and say, look, I know you don't want to hear it. Dude, nobody does, Aaron.
Mm,
Hence the
mm,
reason why your son
mm.
reacted the way he did. Our daughter would be a complete mess if she heard us talk like that. But dude,
Awesome.
it's you have I'm telling you, for the first time in this podcast, I am completely just out of words because I'm right here just flipping through pages and pages and pages of thoughts. You know what I mean?
Look, you know what? And I'm not laughing because of, what you're saying or the topic of the conversation, because we actually had a really good chat offline. We had a bit of an idea of where the conversation was going. But this came to me straight away, and I'm like, you know what? I need to bring this up. And it's just opened up a whole different conversation. But the whole reason for our podcast today was all about the learning to wake up or learning to live again, and no longer walking around like a zombie, no longer walking around with just blinkers, not necessarily blinkers on, but your eyes wide open, but no one's home mentality. Whereas now, when you start with this conversation, you're like, oh fuck. It's like a little bit of a slap in the face, because I'll go back to the distractions. It's no different to us constantly being distracted by the shiny things, but then you're not focusing on the shit that needs to get done to help you get to where you want to be in life, or to have
So
the life you want to
true.
be. This is no fucking different. So I'm like, this also, and look, I'm going to be talking from a personal perspective. It actually puts a lot more purpose in what I want to do now. Yeah, and I've brought it up a couple of times. We've had a conversation on a podcast about it, probably in our first 50 episodes. We talked about legacy, and when we talk about legacy wealth, is that's in the phase at the moment that I think a lot of people need to be in. It's like, let's not look at the immediate money you can make. Let's look at the money you can make in 5 or 10 years' time. Now, add in the equation that in 5 years, within 5 or 10 years' time, you're no longer around. Yet that wealth is still building. No one knows about it. What's going to fucking happen? Would you rather have
It's
that
not
wealth?
going to stay with the family.
Bro, it's
It's
not.
not going to stay with the family.
Not at
But
all.
bro, I mean, And you know what else, Aaron? I'll even bring it back to one of the things we've said, may or may not have said exact words, but one of the things I was having a conversation with one of the other one of my other friends. I flat out asked the question. I said, are you worthy of $1 million? If somebody handed you a check for $1 million, would you take it? And they hemmed and hawed, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'd probably just have you give it to my parents." And I went, "This is the thing, Aaron. Everybody wants that.
Mm,
I'm worthy of $1 million, but your mind, your spirit are like, no, we're not worthy of that money. But your words are saying it. That's the definition of being a zombie
yep,
because you don't really truly think you're worthy of it, and therefore you push it aside. So you wouldn't know what to do if you got that amount of money in your bank account. So that's why I say, bro, we could talk big numbers all day, but if we
yeah.
don't really think we're worthy of it, we won't get it.
Fuck no.
We'll stay zombified and we'll make sure that we push it far away because wow, you're a millionaire? Oh, I'm nervous to be in the room with you because I'm not a millionaire and I feel like a loser. And oh, you're gonna help me make 1 million? Oh yeah, okay, sure. Yeah, that sounds awesome. But really deep down, you're freaking the hell out
Yep.
because you're like, what? What? Me, a millionaire? No way, I can't do that, right?
The worthiness, I've been there. You know, you tell yourself that you're worth it. You tell yourself you're going to be the first millionaire in the family. But then you actually have a look at your actions. You have a look at the words you use. You have a look at, how you're acting. It's like, bro, you're
You don't
furthest
really
from,
believe it,
nah,
bro.
nah,
You don't believe it, man.
not
And
at all.
it's yeah, it's a beauty. It's the beautiful thing, man, when you do start to wake up. Because I'll tell you, Aaron, right now, where I drive to my office. My office is well, to get there, the road, there's an area out here called Cherry Hills Village, which basically for the multimillionaires in Denver, Colorado, right? This is where they live. This is where the Broncos, like our NFL players, our athletes, our gazillionaire freaking owners of cattle and you name it, right? The big dog, the top 1%. And the street that I have to drive down, I drive through that entire neighborhood every single time I'm there. And before, when I first started driving there, I would look there and I'd be like, I can't even, I can't even get there. I can't even imagine what that home looks like. Well, no wonder
Mm,
why at that time I was pushing it all away. Right now, I look at it and I drive. Sometimes, dude, if I'm driving to my office, I'll veer into, because a lot of them are gated, so you can't get in. But there's some areas where you can at least drive through. And dude, I
awesome.
look and I'm like, yeah, I, you know what? This is a nice house. I like it. You know what? I belong here. And really, really mean it that I belong here. So I get comfortable with saying that I get comfortable driving there, not feeling unworthy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And dude, it's these little things, Aaron. And again, like you say, bro, you can wish upon a star and all these things. Not that. It's the actions behind it. So as I'm driving to my office, that's where I'm going to do my work, not day job work. So it's me going, that's where I want to. I end up here because of where I'm going here. Because
Yep.
of what I'm doing here, it's going to land me in here. And I am
100%.
very well worthy of that. So, dude, they all have to match, bro. That's just what I'm saying.
And it's so hard for so many of us because we got told a story when we were young. You know, we can bring up the whole trauma and things, but that's like that's a whole new
Yeah, it's a whole
conversation in
nother
and that.
monster, bro.
But 100%. But I think the great thing is that yeah, I as a kid, yeah, never even thought about it because my dad especially was ingrained in me, who those people were. Whereas now, if I'm driving through a really amazing place now, I hope I actually tell to myself, I'd love to walk through that place one day. I'd love to see what it looks like inside. I say that kind of shit. And the great thing is that I've been lucky enough to, walk into some pretty amazing fucking homes, pretty amazing homes. So, and when you walk in there, you don't want to feel like you're out of place. You want to walk in there and go, fuck yeah, I could do this lifestyle.
Yes.
I could do this lifestyle. But you know what? That also and that whole reframe of, your belief story that you had with those people that lived in those homes, it's completely false because they opened their home to you to come in and have a look. So therefore, you look at it and go, well, they're not so much of an asshole. They aren't,
Right.
you know? So when you look at it, it's like they want you to feel what they feel. They want you to be living the life that they have. You know, you can be an asshole. It doesn't matter how much money you have, you're still going to be a fucking asshole. Or we both know,
Right.
we
There's
both
plenty of broke people that are assholes, Aaron.
completely. You give them money and they're still a fucking asshole. You know, the great thing is that where both you and I are at now, it's like, how can I change the world? I think
Yes,
is where we're
dude.
both at, and it's like, all right, well, if I live that lifestyle, what could I do? You know, I'm gonna I'm gonna quickly end with a really short story, and this is from the event that I went to on Thursday. Beautiful couple, to their absolute fucking, you know, no limit, no more ceiling when it at the absolute ceiling when it came to borrowing money. They wanted to buy a new home. The banks went, fuck no, we're not giving you any money. They had a 9 to 5, both working 9 to 5, had a couple of kids, 6 credit cards that were absolutely maxed out. Cut a long story short, I'm not going to talk too much into the details. But from that lifestyle they had, very simple people, very, very humble people as well. 6 years later, profited over $22 million dollars in starting something where they never ever thought that they were going to go. And for me, I went, you know what? Fuck, that's pretty incredible. But the entry level to get into that is actually a lot fucking easier than people think. So I'm like, all right, well, we just got to start. We've got to start with something. And the great thing is, these people that have profited $22 million dollars are literally going, you want some help? I can help you. And within 10 years, their goal is to build a community. So they are actually at the point now where they will be building a whole community. We're not talking about just a lot of land that's got 12 homes on it. We're talking about building a fucking community. And they are so willing to go, yeah, we did this from nothing. We haven't changed. We just have more money to change more people's lives. And I'm like, fuck yes. And being surrounded in a room of those caliber of people, like, that's the shit we need. That's the shit we need. We need more people like that.
You just saw it for yourself, Aaron. We get fed this story as young kids that, the rich people are a certain type of people and a
Mm,
certain demographic, and then you find out for yourself, like you said, that they're not. And look, man, you're now in the room with these people, and they're going, "Yeah, what can we help you with? How can we help you?" And dude, you're just so humbled by the gesture that you're now speaking different. I told you this offline, bro. You're carrying yourself different. You're thinking about big numbers, not small numbers anymore. And you've had conversations about this. And dude,
mm.
I'm such a fan of what's happening right now, bro, because I think this is you making yourself better and then making everybody around you better and think bigger and not feel so nervous about it, bro. So I'm happy for you, bro. That's
Thank you,
that's
man.
such a dope story, man. And I think that, when everybody realizes that it's possible for you, you just gotta get out of your own way. It's
100%.
magic happens, bro.
You look at all the work that we've done up till this point, it's all fucking worth it. For some, it just takes a little longer. And I look back and go, yeah, it's maybe taking me 10 years to get to where I am at the moment. But you know what? Is it over? Fuck no. The great thing is I'm just surrounded by more people that want the same thing, not just for myself, but for other people. Hence why you and I are putting the muscle mindset movement together, or mindset muscle movement, mindset muscle movement.
Mindset muscle.
Mind, see, this is all fucking fresh. But you know what? This is the difference. A year ago, we would have gone the details, get it sorted out, sit on it, not do any work with it. A month later, we'll be going, fuck, hey, maybe we should revisit this. We talked about this last week and we're like, let's get it fucking done. So January 1, Mountain Standard Time at 7 p.m., we actually have a what? Yeah, man, I know you got something to say.
I was just gonna say because you said January 1, you meant June
Fuck,
1, right?
June. Fuck. Sorry, guys. Start again.
Everybody's like, wait a minute, January 1, that's like in 7 months.
Yeah, it's like, no. All right. So, yeah, so we both decided let's get this fucking thing done. So, June 1, 2025 at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, we're going to have a webinar and we're going to be letting you guys know what this program is all about. So, we've decided we're going to give this thing there. If we're going to do this, we're going to do it now. We're not going to fuck around. It's like, let's get it done. So within 2 weeks, this thing's going to get up and running. $97 per month. You get both John and I every single week in a not only in a private Facebook group to answer all your questions. We give you your task. We give you the shit that you need to do, and every week you just show up. That's all we want you to do. Show up, execute the shit that we want you to execute, and all it is John and I sharing our fucking lessons, our long lessons over the last 10 years, and the point we are at today. Not where we were a year ago, not where we hope to be in a year's time, because in a year's time, we're going to be completely different men again. So, where we are today, these are the things that you need to achieve in order to be able to live a life that you want to live. Be the man that you want to be the woman that you want to be. This program is all about us holding you to the highest level of accountability that you don't hold yourself to. So if you're in, fucking let's go, because I'm super fucking excited for where this program is going to go, how it's going to help you. But this is our entry program. This is our entry level program. We want it. We want a lot of people on this, and a lot of people can do it. Just a lot of people don't like being told what to do, but we're here to fucking push you for your greatest. So let's go. Let's get after it.
I love it. I love it, bro. And then just another side note, next weekend when we record, man, it'll be Sunday, June 1, your time, Saturday, and we're 2 years
Fuck.
into this
That's
podcast we'll be
right.
celebrating, bro.
Celebration. Fuck yeah. Oh, that's actually that's really fucking exciting because we are on episode 96 right now. This is episode 96, brother. 90 fucking
Man,
six.
four more, and
Who would
actually
have
it'll be
thought?
three more next week. Three more
Fuck.
episodes to the big old gold 100, bro. I love
Who
it,
would have
man.
thought? Good. All right. So, guys, where can you get all the information? Pretty simple. I want you to either add John or add myself on Facebook or Instagram. Like I said, we are going to have a private Facebook group. We will have a public Facebook group as well for the movement. We're literally just talking a little bit about what the program is. But for the people that are in the program, you'll only get this information and the support from us in the private group. This is not, hey, we're going to do a free program for all. No, there's so much value that we're going to offer. We can't do this for free. There's just so much. And at the same time, we value our time like we want you guys to value your time. $97 a month, you get all the information. You get literally the Focus 20 coaching program, and you get the Awaken Warrior program as a part of what we're offering. So get after it. Fuck yeah, I
Good
can't wait.
stuff. Good
Exciting
stuff,
shit.
man.
Yeah.
Good stuff. This was a good episode, man. All the way around. Went a lot of different directions. You got a weather report. You got a lot of stuff tonight, man. So
I've
hope you
noticed
guys
you
enjoyed it.
you keep looking out the window. How's it look out there, bro?
It hasn't changed, bro. I'm just telling you, we just got through the
Shit.
podcast. That's all I can tell you right now. So, yeah.
Well,
We
stay
power
safe,
through
man.
tonight.
Stay safe. I'm pretty sure I'll hear the story tomorrow, whether or not it's just something that blew over and it went past you
Yeah.
and you were protected, or you've
I
got a
think
little
I
bit
think
of,
we'll be just fine, dude. I think we're just gonna leave it there and we're gonna be just fine, bro.
let's
That's
not put
all.
it out there to the universe. Let's not fucking jinx this shit. Yeah.
Nope, we're good.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Thank you very much for listening. John, stud, I appreciate your time, man, and I appreciate you. Immense amount of gratitude for you, the energy and the space that you hold. Yeah, big things coming, man. Big things coming.
Back at you, mate. Appreciate you, brother.
Take care, bro. Thanks, everyone.